Listen, just as it's important to work hard to achieve your goals, it is just as important to play hard, right? You've got to put your all into working. You've got to hustle, you got to grind. But it's also important that you recharge from time to time because your body, in a lot of ways, it's a machine. And even machines break down if they're not given time to cool off and just set aside for a minute. This is Tuesday, August 4th. Money tree moment. Let's go. All right. Let me tell you now. It's important to work extremely hard when you're trying to achieve success. You've got to put in the hours that nobody else is willing to do, right? You've got to grind it out. You've got to want that success more than anybody on this earth, right? Again, I go back to this. Any of you who've been to college, done any type of schooling, educational, any type of vocational training, any type of training at all. You at that during that time when you were getting that certification or getting that training, you had to put in those hours, right? And so you know exactly what hard work means. Just as important it is to work hard, it is just as important that when your body is just not feeling it, you need to take a break and you need to go and play hard as well. You need to go out, do something that you enjoy, that'll be fun, that just takes your mind away from work, that leaves you refreshed and renewed and re-energized at the end of it. All right? So, what do I mean by play hard? Listen, you need, when it's time to be off, it is time to be off. Do something fun, do something spontaneous, do something great. Now, let's be realistic. A lot of us who've got families, who've got obligations, a lot of the time that we have off, it's time, the chance that we get now to reconnect with our spouse, talk to our kids, have a fun, and and make sure that we're having that family bond. And for me, family always comes first, right? And that's the most important obligation that you have to your spouse, to your partner, and to your children. After that, you need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of yourself. We've talked about the importance of working out and keeping healthy and eating right, but it is important that you recharge your body through rest. Rest, it is one of the most important things because trying to be at optimum, nobody can maintain optimum performance without any rest at all. It's a physical impossibility, right? There's a reason why in the United States we've got two term limits, presidential term limits, is because we know that after 8 years, the level of creativity sustained to maintain that position it's not going to be there, right? It's not going to be there, and so with that in mind, you know, it's important that we are well aware of what we need to do in terms of sometimes just stepping back and recharging and relaxing, right? Because there's no point. You don't want to work hard all your life, right? And then never get to enjoy the money, right? Or work, and then drop dead before you get to your destination. And the people who get to enjoy it are only the people who you designated as your survivors, but not even yourself, right? You don't even get to enjoy the money. So what am I saying to you? Work hard. Work hard, give it all you got. Sometimes there'll be 12, 13-hour days when you're building your business. That's normal. But it's just as important is when your body is just saying, I need a break, you need to take that break. You need to take that break. You need to rejuvenate your soul, your spirit, your body, your mind. You've got to rejuvenate. You've got to, in some way, sometimes even regurgitate. But you've got to rejuvenate and renew renew anew your body and spirit. I'm not in belief of this whole thing that you see in corporate culture today about, oh, I didn't take any vacation days this year. That's complete nonsense, right? Because nobody is completely 100% productive at work. Nobody, right? Fine, you didn't take a vacation, but you spent a lot of time probably surfing the web, looking through YouTube, watching this one amazing video. By the way, be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. But my point is, Nobody works 100% of the day, even at work, right? Even a job that's not your company, you're not working 100% of the day. At your own company, you're not working 100, every minute of every day. Take that break. Take that break. Rejuvenate yourself. Relax. In order to sustain creativity and ingenuity, your brain needs a break and needs time to refresh and recharge, even if it's just a week. But you need to take some time off. You need to take some time off. We are not machines. We are not. At some point, that level of creativity needs a jump start, right? It needs a jump start. It needs a renewal. It needs a revitalization, right? Take your vacation. You're not impressing anybody by not taking vacation. Take that break. Spend it with your loved ones. Take time away from the office. Take time away from your work. Now, if you're in the midst of, again, first couple of years where you're building your business, where you literally have no one to look after the business or step in, I get it, right? I'm being realistic. I get it that you may not be able to take a break as often as you are, because you're in the throes of just getting that business started. You're in the throes of getting that business going. So I completely understand. However, even given those circumstances, if there is once in 2 weeks, once in 3 weeks, where you can just shut down your store and you can just give yourself a day off, you need it. You need time to rejuvenate yourself. While you may not be able to go on vacation the first 2-3 years while you're building the business, you need to have once or twice a week where you take some time for yourself, right? You need to rejuvenate your brain. Your body needs to rest. Because if you are working, and you end up dying of a heart attack prematurely because your body's overstressed, that doesn't benefit you or anybody else whose life you're trying to improve. It benefits no one. Take rest. Take the time off. Go do something fun. You don't have to go overseas. You don't have to travel. You can have a staycation. I've had a lot of fun staycations. I've had staycations where I was just at home most of the week, right? So home most of the week. Had 1 or 2 rounds of golf with friends, with myself. If I couldn't do a round of golf, I went to mini golf, played mini golf, or caught a game of tennis, or simply just read a book, read one of my favorite books, or read a book, or caught up on reading that I hadn't done in a while, right? Exercise my brain through reading. My point is, take a freaking break when you need to. We are not machines. And dropping dead before you've reached your goal is not going to benefit anybody. Dropping dead, look, we don't know when we're going to die. We can't predict when we're going to die, right? But if we can reduce this level of stress by simply taking some time off, it is well worth it. Reduce your stress, take some time off for yourself. I understand that you're working 60 to 70 hours a week. I understand that you've got 70 employees that are answered to you. I understand that you've got a small business and you've only got 2 or 3 employees. I shouldn't say only. You have 2 or 3 employees that are answering to you, and you're trying to get this thing off the ground. You're trying to get it going. When your body says, I need a break, take a break. Because what will happen is that if you don't take a break, your body will force you to take a break. And trust me, you don't want that. Take the freaking break. Better yet, if you can afford to go out of town, go out of town. Go to a place where your mind is completely away from the surroundings. One of the reasons, honestly, for me, there are very few material things I want in this life at this point, right? I've pretty much experienced everything. I grew up pretty much with with most things that I needed or wanted, and most things that I wanted materially, I grew up with. I've never felt deprived. I grew up in very fortunate circumstances. Um, and into adulthood, the things that I wanted to do from a material perspective, I've done for most of them. There may be a car that I may be dreaming of, or one particular watch I may be dreaming of. But my point is, from a material standpoint, there are very few things that I want in life. I do want the amazing experiences. One of the biggest reasons why I decided to go into business is the ability to go on vacation whenever I want. That's the truth. That is the biggest reason why I decided to go into business. Because could I go back to school, get more degrees, climb higher in the corporate structure? Yeah, I could have done that. But if it still means that I'm only having 4 or 5 weeks of vacation, if I'm lucky, nah. I want to be able to take off when I want to work. That's the main reason I decided to go into business. That's the main reason. You know, like I said, I could go work at some corporation and probably make really good money. But that's not why I started business. The main reason decided to go into business is because I wanted to be able to take off when I want, whenever I want. To be able to say to my wife, you know, let's hop on the plane, let's go to Greece for 3 months. You don't have to worry about PTO nonsense. It's the biggest reason, right? So, rejuvenate, rest. When your body says it's time to rest, take that rest. Rejuvenate, refresh, reset. It is important. We are not machines, right? We're not machines that can go on forever. We need time to cool off. We are and we aren't, right? We're not machines that can run forever, but in a lot of ways, our bodies are machines in the sense that there is a system that works, and even this, you can't just have the system on for going on forever and forever and forever. You need time when it cools off and it's not being used at the same capacity. If I'm making any sense, take that time off. Not taking off, you're not impressing anybody. All you're doing is putting more and more stress on your body, right? And listen, I get it. Sometimes we're in difficult economic circumstances. Sometimes we're in a situation where we feel like if we do take off, our jobs are threatened. I'm acknowledging all those things. I'm saying that when you do get a chance to take off, take it off. Even just taking a day off for yourself, where you do nothing other than attending for yourself, take that vacation. Take that vacation. Self-care is so important, because just like exercising and eating right, if your body's not well rested, you're not in the optimum position to grow your money tree. And I want all of you to be in an optimum state to grow your money tree. Take that vacation. Take that rest. Rejuvenate your soul, rejuvenate your spirit, rejuvenate your body. Rest. And then after you rest, get back to hustling. Work. Grind. Work like a freaking donkey. But when it's time to rest. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate your time this evening. This is Money Tree. It's been great talking. It's been great I've been happy to be able to make this video. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me. If you have any concerns, feel free to DM me. If you have any comments, and please, if you want to come on the program, DM me. Leave a comment. Always happy to interview. Doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur or not. I'm always happy to interview if you're interested in being on the channel. This is Money Tree. It's been a Money Tree moment. Take care of yourselves and each other. Till tomorrow. Peace.